Today is truly unlike any other day, and I don't utter that phrase lightly. On Wednesday, April 15th, the moon transitions into the fiery sign of Aries, and while this might sound like typical astrological chatter, there's a profound understanding I need to convey. This isn't an isolated event. Right now, at this very moment, we are experiencing an unprecedented concentration of planetary energy in Aries. We're talking about the Sun, Mercury, Mars, Saturn, Neptune, and Chiron, all powerfully aligned within this singular sign. This is a rare cosmic convergence, a stellium that doesn't unfold often in the heavens. And with the moon's ingress today, I genuinely believe it will serve as the ignition for something truly massive within each of us. If you've been grappling with an unsettling restlessness lately, that persistent feeling of something profound stirring within you that you can't quite articulate, then please stay with me. There's a very specific reason for this internal agitation, and I'm about to meticulously break down its meaning and, more importantly, what actionable steps you can take. But first, it's crucial to grasp a vital distinction about this particular lunar transit, because many often perceive the moon in Aries solely as an impulse for boldness or direct action. And while that's certainly a component, what's unfolding today delves significantly deeper than surface-level courage. This isn't merely an energetic shift. I perceive this as a potent activation, an initiation. And to be honest, I've felt this building intensity for days now, a palpable undercurrent that has permeated the entire week, and I sense you felt it too. So let me share what I've been observing and personally experiencing. This escalating energy throughout the week isn't without cause. Just a few days ago, on April 9th, Mars, the planetary ruler of Aries, entered its home sign. When Mars comes home, it operates at its most potent and unadulterated strength. There are no restrictions, no hesitations, just pure, unfiltered drive, raw willpower, and an undeniable impetus to act. That alone would be a significant cosmic event. However, things became truly intriguing on April 13th, when Mars formed a powerful conjunction with Neptune in Aries. This combination births what I term the spiritual warrior energy, a fascinating paradox in itself. Mars inherently seeks to fight, to initiate, to assert its will. Yet Neptune yearns to surrender, to dissolve boundaries, to merge with something larger and more transcendent. So, you find yourself caught in this compelling push-pull. You might feel a strong urge to take decisive action, but the precise cause or battle you're fighting for remains slightly unclear. The vision is present, yes, but it's momentarily obscured, veiled by a subtle fog. Does that resonate with your current experience? And then, just last night, literally mere hours ago, Mercury, the planet of communication and thought, also entered Aries. Suddenly, your mind feels accelerated. Thoughts race and tumble with newfound speed. Your communication feels more direct, more urgent, almost as if the usual filter between your thoughts and spoken words is thinning by the hour. And when the moon finally joins this dynamic planetary gathering today, your emotions are poised to fully synchronize with your racing thoughts and that insistent, itching need to move forward. That's the precise moment when everything truly clicks into place. So, if you've been feeling like an engine revving, building power, but yet to be released, that's precisely the energetic reality. You are positioned on the launch pad, and today, April 15th, marks the liftoff. The moon will illuminate and light the fuse on everything you've been holding back, all the suppressed desires and unexpressed truths. Let's delve deeper into what specifically transpires when the moon enters Aries. The moon governs your emotional body, your deepest instincts, and your subconscious needs. It's the intrinsic part of you that feels and reacts before conscious thought intervenes. When it moves into Aries, the very first sign of the zodiac, everything undergoes a fundamental shift. Aries doesn't embrace slowness, It doesn't entertain caution. It doesn't wait for permission, seek consensus, or bide its time for the perfect moment. Aries acts now. And when your emotional core aligns with that potent, direct energy, you will experience an almost physical compulsion to do something, to say something, to decisively change something. And honestly, I believe that's precisely the internal impetus you are meant to feel right now. But here's a critical distinction. I want you to understand about the concept of the warrior heart, because I believe many people misunderstand its true essence. This isn't about being aggressive or combative for its own sake, nor is it about blindly asserting dominance. The warrior heart, in its authentic form, is fundamentally about courage, the profound courage to stand in your truth, even when your voice trembles and your knees feel weak. It's about honoring what you feel without resorting to performance, without manipulating your expression to elicit a specific reaction from others. I've been reflecting on this concept extensively lately, and here's a realization that has dawned on me. True emotional courage isn't about pretending to be strong when you're inwardly breaking it. About possessing the radical honesty to admit when something hurts, to acknowledge fully when you are scared, and to simply feel what you're feeling without apology or the immediate urge to fix it. And that, my friends, requires far more bravery than merely putting on a brave face and pushing through. Therefore, when the moon enters Aries today, you are poised to experience emotions with an intense, undeniable heat. Those long simmering feelings and unspoken truths that have been quietly residing beneath the surface will now powerfully demand your full attention. And the crucial key here is to allow them. Do not suppress them. Do not perform them. Just feel. Your thoughts and feelings are poised for a powerful alignment. Remember when I mentioned Mercury entering Aries last night? Well, here's why that timing carries such immense significance. When the moon joins Mercury in Aries today, your conscious thoughts and your subconscious feelings will fall into a remarkably perfect alignment. This creates a truly fascinating thought-to-reality effect. Normally, there's a natural delay between conceiving an idea and acting upon it. You might have a thought, sit with it, meticulously weigh the pros and cons, perhaps even seek input from trusted friends. But under this potent energy, that usual delay dramatically compresses. You will grasp what you need to do almost instantly, and you will feel an undeniable compulsion to execute it now, not postpone it for later. I've already noticed this phenomenon unfolding, and I'm confident you have too. Realizations are arriving at an accelerated pace. That complex issue you've been pondering for weeks suddenly makes complete and undeniable sense. That difficult conversation you've been actively avoiding suddenly feels urgent and unavoidable. The clarity that emerges is sharp, incisive, and immediate. Moreover, and this is an important nuance, Mercury is also poised to conjoin Neptune, an aspect that will fully form on April 16th. So, while your mind is operating at this accelerated, razor-sharp pace, there remains a distinct Neptunian influence subtly softening the edges. You might experience profound intuitive downloads, moments of visionary clarity that feel almost mystical in nature. However, it's also a time where confusion or even self-deception can arise if you're not acutely careful. So, here's what I believe is absolutely key. Trust your instincts, but also remember to take a deliberate breath before you act. The energy is undeniably fast, but it doesn't have to translate into recklessness. You can be decisive without being impulsive. Does that make sense to you? You are being called to face your deepest wound. Okay, so this is where our discussion takes a truly profound turn, and I implore you to stay fully present with me, because I believe this is the most critical revelation. On April 16th, merely one day after the moon enters Aries, the Sun will form an exact conjunction with Chiron. If you're unfamiliar with Chiron, it's often referred to in astrology as the wounded healer. Chiron represents our deepest, most primal wound, the place within us where we feel fundamentally broken, inherently not enough, or incomplete. And when Chiron is positioned in Aries, that wound specifically centers around your fundamental right to exist, your right to claim space, your right to be truly seen, genuinely heard, and unequivocally recognized for the authentic individual you are. Now, am I suggesting that everyone will experience a massive emotional breakdown today? No, I cannot definitively claim that. However, I am convinced that this potent energy will illuminate with stark clarity the areas where you have been playing small, where you've been hiding your true self, where you've been performing a carefully constructed version of yourself instead of simply existing as yourself. And here's the unvarnished truth: that illumination can be profoundly uncomfortable. It can even be exquisitely painful, because when you suddenly perceive how extensively you've been abandoning yourself, how much you've contorted your being to fit into spaces that were never truly meant for you, it undeniably hurts. I've navigated this territory myself, and it is by no means an easy journey. But that very pain, I truly believe, is the crucible from which your freedom is born. Because you cannot truly heal what you refuse to acknowledge, and today's Aries Moon is gifting you the profound emotional courage to finally gaze upon it, to cease running from it, and to confront it with fierce self-acceptance rather than harsh judgment. The mature expression of the warrior heart isn't about pretending your wounds don't exist. It's about acknowledging them fully, without allowing them to define your entire being. It's about bravely transforming your vulnerability into a source of undeniable authority. And honestly, for me, that has been an immense, life-altering realization. You currently have access to focused, unstoppable willpower. So, while all this intense emotional and mental energy is rapidly building, there's another crucial astrological aspect unfolding that I believe will empower you to channel it constructively. On April 16th, Mars will form a highly supportive angle to Pluto, and this, my friends, is monumental. Pluto embodies deep transformation. It is the planet of death and rebirth, of fundamentally destroying what no longer serves your highest good, so that something entirely new and powerful can emerge. When Mars, the planet of action and sheer willpower, harmoniously connects with Pluto, you are endowed with a concentrated, strategic force. This isn't explosive or chaotic. It is controlled, intensely focused, and supremely intentional. I view this aspect as akin to having a potent superpower at your immediate disposal. You can make difficult decisions with an unusual, unwavering clarity. You can initiate actions that will fundamentally restructure the very fabric of your reality. You can confront obstacles that would typically cause hesitation and simply push through them with a quiet yet utterly unstoppable determination. But here's the essential caveat. This energy demands that you be strategic, not merely bold for boldness' sake. The lower, less evolved expression of Aries is pure impulsivity, acting without forethought, burning bridges simply for the fleeting thrill of the flames. And that, unequivocally, is not what this precise cosmic moment is calling for. This is about calculated risk, about leveraging that intense drive to construct something new and lasting, rather than just indiscriminately demolishing the old. So, when you feel that surge of, "I need to do this now," take a deliberate second to ask yourself, is this action truly aligned with where I genuinely want to go, with my deepest purpose? Or am I merely reacting to discomfort or an external trigger? There is a significant difference, and that distinction truly matters. The universe is posing a direct question. Are you ready for the brave moves? So, we've established that today is destined to be intense, correct? You have this emotional ignition firing, mental acceleration intensifying, deep wounds being illuminated, and powerful access to transformative willpower. That is undeniably a lot to contend with. But here's what I believe all of this potent energy is ultimately building towards. You are being granted a cosmic green light to finally make the moves you've been consciously or unconsciously avoiding. Truly brave moves. And there are 3 specific, courageous steps I want to meticulously break down for you. These aren't random suggestions. They are derived directly from the intricate astrological blueprint of what is unfolding in the sky. And I genuinely believe that if you can align with and embody even one of these, you are going to experience a significant, life-altering shift. Stop performing your emotions and start owning them. The first brave move centers around radical emotional honesty, and I mean truly radical. Today's Aries Moon, amplified by the revealing Sun-Chiron conjunction, is demanding that you shed the performance. Cease curating your emotions for an external audience. Stop manipulating how you express pain or joy simply to elicit a specific response from others. I believe we've all, in one way or another, learned to perform our feelings. Perhaps you learned that being too much pushes people away, so you minimize your authentic self. Perhaps you learned that openly showing vulnerability makes you a target, so you armor up with defensive walls. Or perhaps you learned that if you don't perform pain dramatically enough, people won't take your suffering seriously. Whatever your specific emotional pattern, I believe this potent moment is asking you to fundamentally dismantle it. The brave move here is to simply feel what you feel without commentary, without justification, without exaggerating it or diminishing it beyond its true essence. And while that might sound deceptively simple, it is anything but. It takes immense courage to genuinely say, "I'm hurt," without chasing someone for immediate validation. It takes courage to declare, "I'm angry," without performing an elaborate show of rage to prove a point. It takes profound courage to simply be upset and allow yourself to exist in that state. To pause and feel, without immediately attempting to fix, explain, or defend. And here's something I've intimately observed in my own life. When you cease performing, something shifts energetically in your world. The people who are only there for the show begin to naturally fall away. And the people who can truly handle the authentic you, they instinctively step closer. Not everyone will be comfortable with this newfound level of authenticity, and that's perfectly acceptable. In fact, it's often necessary. This brave move is fundamentally about emotional sovereignty. It's about recognizing that you possess the innate capacity to survive without external validation, that you can powerfully hold your own emotional space without collapsing or resorting to manipulation. And when you do this, when you truly embody it, you reclaim a level of personal power that absolutely nobody can ever take from you, because you are no longer dependent on anyone else's response to feel whole or okay. Stop planning and start moving. The second brave move is entirely about action. More specifically, it's about executing your vision before you possess every single answer. And I understand that this concept likely makes some of you deeply uncomfortable. I get it. We are culturally conditioned to plan meticulously, to research exhaustively, to establish countless contingencies. But here's the powerful message emanating from the Mars. Pluto energy, true clarity emerges through doing, not through endless deliberation and thinking. Have you ever noticed how some of your most profound insights materialize only after you've already initiated the process? You begin a project, and suddenly you gain an intuitive understanding of what you're truly attempting to create. You engage in that difficult conversation, and unexpectedly you know precisely what needed to be said. You take that crucial first step, and only then does the path vividly reveal itself. That's precisely what I mean by knowing through doing. Right now, with both Mercury and Mars situated in Aries, powerfully backed by that strategic Pluto connection, you have unparalleled access to this intuitive execution energy. Your instincts are incredibly sharp. Your gut is unmistakably signaling something significant, and the brave move is to trust it implicitly and act upon it, even if you don't possess a perfectly mapped-out plan. Now, am I advocating that you abruptly quit your job without any backup, or engage in massive financial gambles on a mere impulse? Absolutely not. That is not my suggestion. The Mars. Pluto aspect specifically calls for strategy and conscious intent. But what I am saying is this. If you've been endlessly waiting for the perfect moment or absolute certainty before making your move, you will likely never feel truly ready. Perfect moments are a myth. Certainty is an illusion. The brave move is discovering the delicate yet potent balance between calculated risk and bold initiative. It's about leveraging that uncomfortable, restless energy you've been feeling as potent fuel. It's about channeling that righteous anger or frustration into the conversations, the projects, the life changes you've been actively avoiding because they feel inherently scary or uncertain. And here's a profound truth I've learned. Sometimes the scariest moves are precisely the ones you most urgently need to make. The sensations that make your heart race aren't always warnings of danger. Sometimes they are powerful confirmations that you are standing on the precipice of real, transformative growth. So, if there's something that has been persistently tugging at your soul, something you repeatedly contemplate but then dismiss, today might just be the day to finally listen to its insistent call. The third brave move is arguably the most complex, and frankly, I believe it is the most vital. It's about cultivating what I call the interconnected self. Let me elaborate on what I mean by this. There's a larger, overarching astrological narrative unfolding, culminating around 2026. Saturn and Neptune formed a conjunction at the very first degree of Aries back in February, and that powerful alignment continues to cast a massive energetic shadow over the entirety of this year. Saturn represents structure, boundaries, concrete reality, and disciplined effort. Neptune, conversely, embodies dissolution, spirituality, boundless compassion, and profound unity. And in Aries, the cardinal sign of the individual self, these two fundamentally divergent energies are being compelled to collaborate and integrate. So, here lies the inherent tension. Aries inherently desires independence. It yearns for autonomy. It seeks to be free and self-directed. And this is not an inherently negative desire. However, the shadow side of Aries manifests as extreme isolation. The belief of, I don't need anyone, taken to an unhealthy, detrimental extreme. It's building walls so impossibly high that no one can penetrate them, and mistakenly equating that isolation with strength. On the flip side, Neptune possesses the power to completely dissolve boundaries. It can render you so open, so overwhelmingly compassionate, and so willing to merge with others that you entirely lose yourself. You absorb everyone else's emotions. You shoulder their struggles. You allow their needs to completely override your own. And that, too, is an unhealthy imbalance. The brave move here is to consciously hold both poles, to be fiercely protective of your energy, your personal boundaries, and your authentic self, while simultaneously remaining open, compassionate, and deeply connected to others. It's about understanding yourself as both sovereign and relational. You absolutely do not have to choose between being fiercely independent and being deeply engaged in relationships. You can gracefully embody both. And this requires profound discernment right now, especially as we navigate a period of massive collective uncertainty. There is an abundance of fear being projected, a multitude of narratives attempting to sway you one way or another. And the brave move is to constantly ask yourself, whose reality am I actively midwifing right now? Am I making decisions rooted in my own authentic knowing? Or am I being swept up in someone else's agenda, someone else's fear, someone else's vision of who I should be? Today's Aries Moon is empowering you with the courage to establish clear, firm boundaries, while simultaneously keeping your heart expansively open, to confidently say no to what drains your energy without becoming cold or cynical, to protect your inner peace without constructing impenetrable walls that exclude genuine connection. This is the arduous yet rewarding path of what I call the warrior monk, an individual who sanctifies their willpower and inner strength, but never weaponizes it against themselves or others. The new moon is approaching, and that's when everything solidifies. So, today, April 15th, the moon officially enters Aries and ignites this entire constellation of energy. You will undoubtedly feel the surge, but here's what precisely happens next. On April 17th, we welcome the powerful new moon in Aries. And this isn't just any new moon. It occurs at the very final degree of Aries, in close proximity to Chiron, and it is drawing in all the concentrated energy of this entire stellium. New moons are intrinsically about fresh starts, new intentions, and purposefully planting seeds for what you desire to cultivate and grow. And this particular new moon, I firmly believe, is one of the most powerful reset points of the entire year. The actions you deliberately take, the decisions you consciously make, and the intentions you carefully set during this potent window will carry serious weight and possess immense staying power. But there's a vital catch, and honestly, this is incredibly important. On April 19th, just 2 days after the new moon, Mars will meet up with Saturn. And that, my friends, is the cosmic reality check. Saturn is renowned as the taskmaster. It rigorously tests the integrity and foundation of everything you've initiated. If you leverage this surging energy to make wild, uncalculated moves, if you act purely from ego or blind impulse, Saturn will unequivocally reveal where your foundation is weak. You will encounter walls. You will face frustrating delays. You will feel an undeniable sense of frustration. However, if you consciously utilize this energy, if you made brave moves that were deeply rooted in genuine self-knowledge and strategic awareness, Saturn will not punish you. Instead, it will cement your progress. It will endow you with the discipline and stamina required to see your initiatives through to completion. It will transform your bold vision into tangible, material reality. So, these next few days aren't merely about commencing new endeavors. They are about initiating things that possess the inherent capacity to truly last. And that, undeniably, requires a level of integrity and profound self-honesty that not everyone is willing to embrace. But I believe you are. I believe that's precisely why you're engaging with this message. You are not the same person you were last month. Here's a thought I keep returning to, and perhaps you felt this resonance too. Something fundamental has shifted within you over these past few weeks. The way you perceive yourself, the way you respond to familiar situations, the boundaries you are now willing or unwilling to tolerate. And today, when the moon enters Aries and activates all of this concentrated, fiery energy, I believe that profound shift is going to become undeniable. You are going to feel it viscerally in your body. You are going to observe it clearly in your choices. You are going to recognize that you are no longer operating from the same fears or the same limiting beliefs that constrained you even a month ago. And that, precisely, is the entire point of this extraordinary cosmic moment. It's not just about experiencing intense emotions or having fleeting big realizations. It's about actualizing a new, more authentic version of yourself. It's about consciously becoming the person you have always held the potential to be, but perhaps never had the sheer courage to embody until now. The warrior heart isn't something you need to meticulously create or artificially manufacture. I truly believe it's already present within you. It has resided there all along. What today's Aries moon accomplishes is the powerful removal of the barriers that were keeping it hidden. It strips away the layers of conditioning, the paralyzing fear, and the exhausting performance. And what remains is simply you, the real you, the brave you. I understand that this might sound intense. I know it might feel like a significant amount of pressure. But here's what I want you to remember. You don't have to execute all 3 brave moves today. You don't have to have everything flawlessly figured out by the new moon. This is a continuous process, a journey of becoming, and you're inherently empowered to move at your own unique pace. But you absolutely do need to start. You do need to take that crucial first step, whatever form it takes for you, because this potent energy won't linger indefinitely. The portal is wide open right now, and the version of you that awaits on the other side. It is undeniably worth every single step. What are you going to do today? So, here's my profound question for you. When you awaken today and feel that undeniable surge of energy, that restless, insistent need to move, what will you choose to do with it? Will you suppress it, distract yourself from its call, or convince yourself that it's simply not the right time? Or will you consciously listen to it? Will you honor its profound message? Will you take just one brave, deliberate step in the direction your soul is so powerfully pulling you? Because I genuinely believe this moment is exceptionally rare. This particular confluence of planetary energies. The stellium, the moon's activation, the supportive aspects, the unparalleled healing opportunities. It doesn't come around often, and when it does, it extends an invaluable offering, a chance to align deeply with who you authentically are, to make moves from a place of profound integrity and authenticity rather than succumbing to fear or obligation. And honestly, I cannot wait to witness what you choose to do with this energy. I am eager to hear how it manifests in your life, because we are all collectively navigating this together. We are all feeling different facets of the same overarching cosmic shift. And when one of us courageously steps into our inherent power, it implicitly grants everyone else permission to do the same. So, today, as the Aries moon rises, I want you to deeply remember your warrior heart was never broken. It was simply waiting for you to be ready. And I believe, with every fiber of my being, that you are ready now. All right. Thank you so much for being here and for sharing this space. If this message resonated deeply with you and you wish to see more content like this, I would truly appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button. It helps to support this work more than you know. And please, do drop a comment below. I am genuinely eager to hear what you've been experiencing lately. Are you feeling this powerful build-up? Have you already made any brave moves in your life? Take exquisite care of yourself. Trust your deepest instincts, and I'll see you in the next one.